that is a good time to start shooting.
Evil.
Because the dog has spawned by then. You'll hear barking, but I'm pretty sure the dog in the chains doesn't actually spawn until you hear the rattling.
Barry!
I wound up going for a slower backup strat by hugging the right side of the wall, which was to just lure him towards the right wall and then run to his left. When really what you should do is kind of go toward and then run to his left. When really what you should do is kind of go towards the left side of the wall and back up a whole bunch, get him to lunge, miss, then you can pass around. Of course, just don't worry about the Crimson Head going up the stairs, pick up the armor key. I was going to use the dagger against the dog on the balcony because it actually is a little bit faster to have him pounce on you and save a couple of handgun bullets. But he actually was not being very aggressive, so I didn't have to stab him with the dagger. Stabbing with the dagger is about the equivalent of perhaps 4 handgun shots, something like that. But you take out dogs in half the time they pounce. That zombie is another mover. One of the movers that I mentioned earlier, as in he starts moving as soon as you enter the room, and he can cut you off around that junction. The fat balding zombie can. And if he does, then it gives plenty of time for the Elder Crimson, or the Crimson shots. So now that we have the armor key, our next trip is to go for the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher is, of course, Jill's primary weapon throughout the run. Armor key, our next trip is to go for the grenade launcher. The grenade launcher is, of course, Jill's primary weapon throughout the run. And because we did not trigger the Jill sandwich cutscene, Barry will be here. Now, as I was saying earlier, don't even bother shooting zombies, don't even bother picking up healing items unless you really need to heal immediately. If you're going to speedrun, instead what you need to do is you need to practice bosses. Practice boss quick kill strats, pick up defense items, because even if like pick up defense items, every hard zombie to dodge does actually grab you healing items unless healing items. So now we have to save Richard and pick up defense items, because even if they grab you, you won't take any damage, and there's still plenty of opportunities to practice, and you can just use fewer and fewer defense items as you feel more comfortable. Now we have to save Richard. Once you've set off this Richard cutscene, then another timer will play. And after about 5 minutes, Richard will die. Jeez, excuse me. After about 5 minutes, Richard will die. So you need to do the lower west side of the mansion pretty quickly. The zombie busting in the door won't actually come down until you reach the stairs here. If a zombie is on a dismount procedure, it will vomit. So don't worry about vomiting zombies, ever. Vomit. So don't worry about vomiting zombies, ever. Vomit. We'll drop the knife, the handgun, and the sword key. Use the L or R triggers to scroll the inventory box if you're throwing away items forever. Do that instead of hitting up or down to scroll. Generally, it's going to be safer to dodge around the outside wall for the zombie coming out of the save room going towards the plant here. Because oftentimes he will be closer to the inner side of the wall. But if you don't see his hands in the frame before you actually see him, then you need to trigger the next camera angle and try to back up a little bit. Otherwise you could sacrifice a defense item to get around him, that's fine. So use the chemical here, pick up the death mask. One thing that I forgot to note is I have the language set to Japanese. That is an option you can set in the game's options menu. Game. I just have Japanese text because it scrolls faster. Japanese text saves maybe about 45 seconds over the course of a run, maybe? Actually, I don't really know how much time it saves, but I know it scrolls faster. I just kind of pulled the number out of my ass. So after the zombies bust through the window, we're just going to go straight back to Richard. And we can do that by heading through the main hall and going right back up the stairs. So let's see. Immediately after Richard, we have to pick up the music notes. There are music notes in the next room. So this is what we have to do. For this first zombie here, we're gonna hold back and left for one step, then hold forward, and then start backpedaling. Of course, the dodge failed here, but what's supposed to happen is, as soon as you trigger the camera angle, you're supposed to mash back on the D-pad until the zombie lunges, then you can just hold up and move past him. And of course, as soon as you light the candle, the zombie is going to come in. As soon as this camera angle here triggers, mash back immediately. That is how you can dodge the fat zombie in the little room there. And depending on whether the zombie goes left or right at the table, just go left or right at the table. The zombie might be able to catch up to you fast enough. So, once again, don't bother shooting zombies. Even if it seems difficult, don't bother shooting zombies. Use defense items instead. Because oftentimes it's getting into an area that is harder than getting out of an area. Now that we have these music notes, we're going to go play the piano. Now this next zombie here, what you need to do is hold upright for one step and then straighten out. 1 straight, 3, 4, 5. After 5 steps, start mashing back. Well, that dodge actually failed. But ideally what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to be facing towards the left wall just a little bit, maybe by about 10 degrees into the left wall. Just kind of put your nose 10 degrees into the left wall and then just start mashing backwards. Something about the spacing causes the zombie to just wig out and lunge at you. So there's the gold emblem. We're gonna take that to the main hall. Go get the shield key, and then go fight Jan. But not really fight Jan, because fighting him does nothing anyway. It's just a waste of ammo. Just hold upright to squeeze past this zombie over here. Then next we're going to use the gold emblem. And then solve the puzzle. The solution is on the picture to the left. The green armor guy is getting a short sword pierced through his chest, but the red armor guy is getting a long sword pierced through his head. So all you have to do is turn the large gear to the right twice. Then there's your shield key. There's not too terribly much left to go on for the Mansion 1 segment of the run. We don't need Richard's assault shotgun. You can get the assault shotgun from Richard if you deal enough damage to Jan and you saved Richard with the serum. Most people don't know that you can actually get an assault shotgun by rescuing Richard. The assault shotgun is actually extremely necessary for Chris's run. So we're gonna phase to the left side, or to Jill's right side, and now we're going to go towards the podium and wait for Jan to go left, and then kind of go back the angle you came, and exit the room. It's not a really good just go through the mask, figure out which direction of the pillar Jan is going to come around, and left side, or to Jill's right side. And now we're going